Good morning, Slayers. I'm your host of the 5 at 10 show, Jamal. Shout out to Dylan for hosting with me last week. He was great, as well as cool guy Adam and my best friend Ed. Now, this week's show is pre-recorded since half of our crew is in London this week. Cheers to the mates. But don't worry, we will be live next week. But I do have a special guest joining me on this voyage. She's usually behind a teleprompter, but she said, taped, I'm in. Please welcome membership service specialist Tiffany Dang to the show. Tiffany, welcome.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Jamal. I knew you needed a host this week, so I threw my name into the jar to help you and the show out.
Well, to be honest, Tiffany, you were the only name in the jar. So, kind of a foregone conclusion.
Thank you, Jamal.
But wait a minute. If you're here, who's on the teleprompter?
There I am. That's me. That's my job.
Okay, not sure how you're doing that, but it's my job as Jopra to give you 10,000 Hydra points. Woo! One more time. Since you're guest hosting with me this week, thank you for that.
Thank you, Jopra. This doesn't count as the money you owe me for my last appearance on the show. But it's a start. You still owe me $700.
Well, that's why I pulled the double at the gas station 2 weeks ago. Anyway.
Interest is growing.
Well, you may remember it's Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and we're still celebrating. So we talked to a few Slayers about their heritage and culture and asked them what AANHPI Heritage Month means to them. So Josh from London, roll that clip.
Actually, I'm rolling that clip.
What?
Hi, my name is Thomas.
My name is Jamie.
My name is Patrick,
My name is Tiffany.
My name is Joseph.
My name is Sungyeon.
and I'm a proud Asian American.
Proud Asian American.
Proud Filipino.
Proud Asian American.
Proud to be an Asian American.
Very proud to be Asian American. For me, being Asian American is having a community of people who with a similar background. Identity. It's who I am. It's everything that I look at. It's how I see the world. It's how I have shaped my experience.
Think of like big families, big get-togethers, a lot of food.
One of my favorite foods would be banh cuon. It's like a Vietnamese version of a rice roll, and it's stuffed with like wood ear mushrooms and meat. It's pretty good.
Kare, sinigang, and lumpias. My favorite food from my heritage is definitely kimbap.
My parents are Taiwanese, so I like a lot of Taiwanese street snacks, so like popcorn chicken, stinky tofu even, oyster omelet, just like really traditional like Taiwanese foods. But I love me some bumboe, BBH. I love me some vermicelli noodles, especially, just any noodle dishes from Vietnamese restaurants, I'm probably getting it. Talking about like language with people, so like people who also speak Chinese or Mandarin, like I get to connect with them in ways that you might not be able to with other people.
That we come from like a pretty war-torn country in Vietnam, so being able to like celebrate my culture here in the States is like a really big thing for me.
For being specifically Vietnamese American, for me, it's meant that, my parents came here on boats, they escaped the war, and then they shared their stories with me. A very incredible, luck-based experience. My mom just out of nowhere came here. My dad out of nowhere, he could have ended up here, could have ended up in Germany, wherever, could have stayed in Vietnam, but they both ended up here, met together, and it's just a very unique experience to share.
The love that we give each other and the celebration of just life. Is staying all night with my cousins when we were celebrating Chuseok, a Korean holiday.
Getting your red envelope every year, you're growing up as a kid, you get that free extra cash. It's always fun to have.
It's kind of like a family gathering, like a big family gathering where we just eat like all kinds of food.
Experiencing a lot of the festivals that would happen together when people are celebrating Lunar New Year, because especially that's when everyone comes out, they're dressed in Vietnamese culture, they're dressed in what's called áo dài. That's what they're wearing over the really colorful attire. And it was just I always feel like that time of year where everyone gets to sort of celebrate and show off their culture. Definitely has to be visiting Taiwan. We have family there, all of our families there actually. So, our nuclear family is just my parents and my sister and I were here, but every time we get to go back, I grew up going back a lot, like once every summer, like every other summer. And so it's been a while, but it's always nice to go back and see family.
I do look up to my parents. They immigrated here around like the 50s or 60s. They didn't speak any English.
I feel like I'm like more like aware of like my surroundings and like the kind of like the way I speak and like present myself.
I think it's shaped me in every facet of my life.
They worked really hard taking care of my big family of 11 kids.
It's very unique being Asian American. It's a very different experience. It's something you don't see in media too often. I'm thankful now that there's so many ways of media just, reaching out and trying to understand the Asian American experience.
So yeah, I really look up to them.
My name is Jamie.
My name's Thomas.
My name is Tiffany.
My name is Joey.
I'm Sungyeon,
My name is Patrick,
Very proud to be
Asian
Asian
American.
and I'm a proud Asian American.
and I'm proud Filipino.
Thanks to our Slayers for participating in our interview. We truly enjoy learning more about your cultures here on the show.
Moving on to our announcements, this is a reminder that next Monday is a holiday, so don't come to the office, the doors will be locked. It's Memorial Day on Monday, May 26th, so turn off your alarm clock, sleep in, and maybe start up the grill for the start of an unofficial summer.
Ooh, I like how that sounds, and I like how this sounds. Start your engines. Our annual Mario Kart tournament is around the corner. Will you play as Toad, Yoshi, maybe Princess Peach? Race down Rainbow Road on Friday, June 6th from noon to 1:30 in the SLA lunchroom. Lunch will be provided, and if you're interested in participating in the fun, respond to the survey Denitra sent out last week. And now, turning to our biggest and only prize of the day.
This week, we want to thank Rachel Regan for recognizing Jesse Ding. Rachel congratulated Jesse for winning week 4 of the Springing into April production challenge. Way to go, Jesse.
That's awesome. Rachel, thanks for letting the rest of our Slayer community know about her achievement, and we love keeping that High Thrive chat active. So Rachel, you're going home with 2,500 High Thrive points. Woo! Congrats.
Yay.
Nice. Well, as Porky Pig once said, that's all, folks. Well, thank you, Tiffany, for co-hosting this show with me today. I had a lot of fun, and now you can mark it off the list. But you're welcome back anytime you like.
Thank you for the offer, Jamal. It was fun. I'll remember it forever, but I think I'm going to stick to the teleprompter.
Well, like Burger King, have it your way. But we will be back to our regular scheduled live programming next Wednesday. Until then, be great, Slayers, and I'll see you next week.